This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
37% are actually saying that they feel more depressed over the situation. 65% are saying that they have a lot more stress and anxiety.
First Lady Michelle Obama front and center on health care this past week. On Friday, Mrs. Obama making the case for reform and citing the so-called sandwich generation. Joining me now is Sherri Snelling, the chairwoman of the National Alliance for Caregiving and a family caregiving expert. Anna, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alex.
You know, to family caregivers, how important are they to the overall health system?
Well, it was really encouraging to hear the First Lady a couple days ago acknowledge the sandwich generation in her speech. Because as you said, 44 million Americans are providing care for an elderly parent. And what this represents is 80% of the care needed to keep our seniors living in their homes is provided by a family member, so they're essential. The recent survey that was conducted by the National Alliance for Caregiving and Evercare showed us that 47% of these family caregivers are using up all or most of their savings.
What about that one website before we leave our viewers here? They can go someplace.gov?
Yes, it's eldercare.gov. It's a wonderful resource for all these different services in your city.
ABC News headquarters. This is World News with Charles Gibson.
A family affair, the rising cost of growing old.
There's really a shift that's happening where we used to be focused on child care issues and now we're shifting to elder care issues in the workplace.
Joining us now is Sherri Snelling, Director of Caregiving Services at Evercare. And Sherri, with a good Sunday morning to you, and thank you for being here.
Our latest study from Evercare and the National Alliance for Caregiving is around the Hispanic community, what their issues are in caregiving. And there's some very exciting and different news, particularly around the prevalence of diabetes, which is causing a lot of these Hispanic family members to become caregivers, and also they're leaving the workforce. 4 out of 10 are having to leave their current work situation in order to care for their loved ones. So again, we're seeing some real economic impacts.
Hardships. Wow, 4 out of 10 having to potentially leave. Okay.
There's a first of its kind study that's offering a more concrete look at just how much it costs.
We found that more than half of the caregivers in the survey are spending on average 10% of their annual income, $5,500 a year, to take care of their older loved one.
Joining me now is Sherri Snelling, Director of Caregiver Services at Evercare. That is the provider who co-sponsored this study.
Caregiving is something that is going to touch each and every one of us. Right now, if you take a look at the study results, that really represents half of caregivers is about 17 million Americans, and they're spending on average $5,500 a year. So in order to take care of their loved one, what they're doing is they're sacrificing their future. They're giving up their savings, they're dipping into current savings to pay for these costs, and they're also ignoring their own health care. They're not going to the doctor or the dentist anymore.
I'm curious, do you have any idea how many Americans are in this situation, caring for, I guess, opposite ends of the generational gap?
Well, right now we know that there are 34 million Americans who are caring for a loved one over the age of 50. Now, if you add the loved ones who are also caring for a child who has disabilities, that number skyrockets to about 50 million. And of course, we know that our baby boomers are aging, and so we're looking at those numbers to really escalate over the next 10 to 20 years.